Hey guys, RonMan here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing my copy of Final Fantasy III for Super Nintendo. Also, if you're new here and you like my content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you stay up to date on RonMan Gaming. Okay, so this is my copy of Final Fantasy III for the Super Nintendo. I love this game. I think this game's lots of fun. I haven't played it in a while, but I love the cover. I really like the black and purple look there. I think the purple there is a silhouette of a dragon. I like that there's a Moogle on there as well. I think that looks just really sharp. Final Fantasy is on the side of the boxes here. Side of the box, rather. And on this side, I actually have a bit of a crease in the box that you can see there. So my box is not in perfect shape. I got a little ding there as well, but it is in pretty good shape. Moving on to the back of the box, just if you want to read that, a reminder to pause the video. I find that screenshot an interesting choice because, I'll tell you a little story. Back in, I guess I was in high school when I was a teenager, I worked at an East Side Mario's, and I often would walk over to the local Toys R Us and just buy video games. I often wouldn't look up which game was good and which game wasn't. I would just buy a game based off of what I thought looked cool. So if this were the 90s and I was in a Toys R Us, I probably would have passed on this game based on this screenshot. Like if I didn't know anything about Final Fantasy, if I'd never heard the name before, this screenshot wouldn't be enough to entice me. So I find that there was an interesting choice. Which is, this game's fantastic, so I just feel like this one screenshot doesn't do the game justice. But anyway, I'll go ahead and open this up. Okay, so we got the game here. Got a bunch of documents here. We'll get to that in a second. I'll just quickly look at the game. The cartridge it's in pretty good shape. I have the sleeve as well. I haven't played this game in a while. I really should play this. Last year I played all kinds of Final Fantasy stuff, but I didn't play this one again. Maybe I'll do that this year. So that's the game. Okay, so we have the instruction booklet. I'll get to that. We have the obligatory consumer information and precautions booklet. Now, has anyone ever read this thing? I have never taken the time to read this. In fact, just reading the title of it right now is the most I've ever read from these, so let me know if you've ever read every word of that thing. Moving on here, we have the map. It's a pretty good sized map of the world of Balance. I freaking love this game. And if we turn it over, it's a map of the world of Ruin. Pretty neat stuff. I love when games come with this kind of stuff. Now, when I play this game, I actually use this map. I bust it out and I have it right beside me and I use it. Why not, right? And then here we have what appears to be a poster. But on this side, it looks like it's like an order form or some kind of a catalog. No wimps. I guess I can't play that game then. Secret of Mana, yeah, that's a catalog here. I love that, a Final Fantasy III watch. Does anyone have that watch or have seen that watch out in the wild? Or the hat? I would love to know. See, this is the stuff that, because, you know, in the 90s, I was a kid, so this type of stuff was always off limits for me. But if I were an adult back then, I would have absolutely bought all this stuff. Okay, so that's the order form, but if you flip it over, we got a really nice poster of the cover of the game. And I actually used to have this hanging on my wall, but I just didn't like that it wasn't with the game, so I put it back. So that's the poster. And the last thing is the booklet here, so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on the booklet. This booklet is quite thick. But it's just a lot of game information, so it might not be all that interesting to someone who's just watching this video. Also, you can find PDFs online if you're really curious to actually read. But table of contents, a bit of a story there. The controls, name input, vehicles, vehicle controls. Getting started, saving progress. Now this is all, you know, to me, I don't need to read any of this because I'm quite familiar with how to play Super Nintendo RPGs. But back in 1994, this was important. Subscreen, especially, I mean, this could have been, and I'm sure it was, people's first RPG. This was not my first RPG. My first RPG, I think, was Final Fantasy 2 or 4, but the first one I beat was Mystic Quest. Skills and magic. But yeah, believe it or not, I actually had a hard time getting into this game in the 90s when I was a kid. I always felt a little bit confused by who the main character was supposed to be, and I also don't love industrial settings, and this game kind of starts off in an industrial setting, like you're riding Magitech armor, and I just had a hard time getting into it, which is a shame because I absolutely love this game now. Config screen. You'll notice that a lot of the game's official artwork is throughout the book as well, which is always really cool. And again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here just because, you know, this information isn't exactly necessary. Fighting, changes in status. Village locations, that's pretty cool. Items. Relics. Yeah, more. Yeah, this game, there's just so much stuff in this game. I absolutely love it. Espers, yeah, Espers. So the summons are called Espers. But a lot of the times, I haven't played every Final Fantasy game. To be honest, this was the last Final Fantasy game that I really loved. But they tend to call the summons something different in a lot of the different Final Fantasy games. Like in this game, they're called Espers. In Final Fantasy VIII, they're called Guardian Forces, or GFs for short. And I think they're called something different in Final Fantasy X, but here's a bunch of the different summons. Magic spells. More magic spells. Yeah, lots of magic. This game is very focused on magic, which is cool. Building parties. Yeah, this is this was kind of was it the first? Yeah, I think it was the first Final Fantasy game where you could really customize your party with different characters. In Final Fantasy V, you could do something similar, but you just had 4 characters and you could just pick their jobs, which kind of gave you the effect of customizing your party. In Final Fantasy IV, there really wasn't any party customization at all. And some of the characters, their official art: Terra Locke, Mog, Edgar, Sabin. And that's another thing too. This game doesn't really illustrate who the main character is. That's kind of up to you, which is really cool. But anytime I play this, I always pick Sabin as like my main guy, but I think I'm going to change that up next time I play. Cyan, Gao, Shadow and Celeste, Setzer, Strago, Realm, and some advice, some tips, which is really cool. You know, I do remember back in the day when I was a kid, I would often get stuck on video games and I would scour the manual looking desperately for any tips they could give me. Story begins. Yeah, just pretty cool stuff here. We're almost at the end of the book here. Good luck. And that's the booklet. So that is my complete unboxed copy of Final Fantasy III. Now, again, if I am missing something from this, please let me know in the comments. That would be great. So there you have it, guys. That's my copy of Final Fantasy III in-box for the Super Nintendo. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cats. Alright, Willow. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Yep, that didn't work.